Hey, hello. Sorry, I'm just putting this stuff together real quick. Gotta do a part two. If you guys have not seen part one, I would strongly urge to go back and look under my YouTube page under live and check out part one, because you're going to be kind of lost if you don't. Okay. Do it this way. Okay. I took Braxy trick-or-treating around the neighborhood, so if I sound winded, it's because I was going up and down a shit ton of hills. So let me see. Hey, Clarence and Joyce, Gretchen, Marie Sutton, hello. Deborah, Bonnie, Judy, Marie, Lynn, Carmen. So this is part two of the grand tableau for the muskrat. If you guys have not seen part one, hi Sunflower, hello. I would strongly advise to go take a view at part one. The reason I'm doing a part two was because when I got done, I had to go grab my car I was getting brakes done, and then come home, eat, and then get ready to go trick-or-treating. And it wasn't until I was about to go out trick-or-treating that it hit me, this whole thing right here. We touched briefly on part one about his communications with foreign adversaries that are enemies. And we touched very briefly on the Saudis. And then I remembered while I was walking Braxy, this line right here, and I had to call Jen. And I had to tell her, Jen, holy shit, you will not believe what shows up in Musk's grand tableau. And hold on. Okay. I couldn't believe it. So when we talked about him kind of being an intermediary and sort of a go-between here, and a person that is involved in contacting or negotiating with adversaries that are foreign powers, along with, we discussed China, which is down this row, for him to block something, to give favor to China. Here's China. We talked about how this person here, enemy, foreign power, access to something that he wanted they wanted taken away. This sits in the house of mice. Okay. Mice is in the house of coffin, to take something away and shut it down. And then this person is not friendly here. Hey, Trillium Tarot. This here, along with this, I was able to identify China, because these two here are Qian. Dog sits in the house of sun. This is saying the answer to this, look to the right. And I went on the Google machine while we were live, and because I was wondering, I was like, well, does China have like a sun on their flag or whatever? According to the Google, hey Jenny, it does. It's a sun with 12 rays or something like that. But here's China. He played favor. And then we were talking about the Saudis, and I said because the tree is too far away from the lilies to make it, hey, the square peg, thank you. In order to make him talk, I had to block it in like this. Well, when I was talking to Jenny, I said, Jenny, holy shit, you're not going to believe this. Look at this entire row here, this row of 12, okay? There's one line that intersects this row of 12 that touches back to Elon. So house to, what is this? Birds to lilies to whip, okay? Here's Elon Musk. It goes this way. The intersection is here. Man, book, coffin, lilies. Man in the house of clover, clover right before it. A man that's a risk, a risky man, someone that's not very serious. Book in the house of whip. Knowledge of conflict, secret abuses, secret addictions, secret affairs, okay? So man, that's a risk, has knowledge. He has knowledge of something that is being disputed or a conflict of some sort. An abuse. He knows where these secrets are buried. Coffin in the house of garden. In a cemetery. Lilies in the house of woman, where a woman is resting. He knows where these secret documents that everybody keeps saying they're in, check the coffin, check the coffin. He knows they're there. Right here, the man has knowledge of where the secrets are buried, and it's where a woman is resting in a cemetery. Okay. What is in those documents? Here. Satellite images, weapons. This would be like weapons and maps. Also weapons that are nuclear, targets to certain governments, targets to leaders, people in power. Okay. But he knows where they're at, and he's had conversations about them. See here? There's a secret. There's a secret about the abuses and the conflict. Remember, Donald Trump is still in disputing the charges, and so is Jack Smith for overturning the classified documents case. Okay, we know that there's still items that are missing. Okay, the documents here, secret documents, he knows about them because they were brought up in conversations and moved over and transferred verbally to enemies here, and foreign powers here. Okay. So that's that right there. So he knows what's in those documents, and he has probably had conversations with these people here, which would be the Saudis, because the Saudis are showing up here. China and Russia are over here, and Taiwan as well is over here. This is finances. Okay. The fish would be something that you sell. So I don't think that he has offered to sell them because these two sit too far away. However, here's an offer to an enemy. It sits in the house of mountain. And then the transaction up here, that causes big problems. And then you have to knight it this way to the secrets. So it's not a direct line. It goes this way to this knight and then this way to this knight. But he knows where they're at and he knows what's in there. I know we're not surprised about the stuff that's in the coffin. Everybody has been speculating since the documents went missing the minute that Ivana died. Everybody's saying, check the coffin. It shows them in Trump's tableau. I am just surprised to see it in his tableau because it's right here in a line of influence. And that is why he also becomes a risky man. He sits in the house of Clover as well. He becomes a risk to multiple foreigners, foreign powers. Okay. Crossroads in the house of Ship in the house of Bear, foreign powers, while he's a resident here. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like, this is almost like he's aiding. So there was that. And then I was talking to Jenny too, that I would not be surprised if somewhere within the next year or so, does the same rules apply to exhume coffin on the golf course versus well, see, this would be more this would be more like a golf course here, an outdoor area where you go to play sports or do something that's active that requires a membership. See that membership? You have to be awarded or granted membership to here to come and visit. That would be the what do you call it? The golf course. This is showing a cemetery. Someone is buried, but if you follow it here, this is your cemetery. I wouldn't put those two together though, because it's too far away. I would look at the house. And it's where a woman is resting. Lilies in the house of woman, woman in the house of lilies. It's going to take the law. It's going to take the law. And if this is the case, why would this... Hold on. So this would be a famous outdoor area, okay? Outdoor fame, public fame, societal fame. This would be having to dig it up here. Those are the gifts and the offers that were delayed and blocked, but also gifts and offers for an enemy, okay? Multiple things here, documents. This sits in the house of Crossroads. Crossroads is up here in the house of Ship. And it goes this way too. Access here, the access for stuff that was stolen. Stolen up here in the house of Coffin. That was buried. And that comes to light. Perhaps, mayhaps, I'm not sure. I don't know why it would be showing up in Donald Trump's or Elon Musk's tableau unless somebody blows the whistle here, because we were looking at these 12. Unless there's a whistleblower that comes out and says, oh yeah, by the way, I know where the rest of those missing documents are. You might want to check where a woman is resting. And that's when, because this stuff here, the access is lost, stolen, or taken away. In the house of Coffin over here in the house of Garden. Yeah, he'll probably sing. You're correct. He'll sing to save his own ass. But he's not taking any of this seriously at all. What he's currently involved in with foreign adversaries, he's not taking seriously. His involvement to overturn an election that he's currently working on right now, he's not taking seriously. Getting those canvassers that I just posted on my page, my community page, that his PAC outsourced to a different company to go get a bunch of canvassers and then locked them up in a U-Haul truck and threatened to not pay them and abandon them and not pay for their lodging. Do you see him? He's not taking any of it seriously at all. So yes, he told Elon Musk about the documents in the coffin. It was via a conversation right here. This line here was brought up in conversation because we were trying to figure out how the Saudis are involved and how he's involved with the Saudis. And it was brought up in a conversation about the stuff that's in the coffin where a woman is resting and what those secrets contain. Satellite images, weapons, something that's radioactive or nuclear. Here. Targets on certain powers or certain peoples of authority. Here. So I'm not sure, and it would be an enemy to these people. So who is Iran an enemy of the Saudis? I mean, I don't know. And the Saudis also know that it's there. They also know that it's there. Yes, Musk was supposed to be in. Hey, Tarot Newbie. He was supposed to be in court today, and he just decided, nah, I'm not going to go. And then he tried to file to have it thrown to federal court, and the Pennsylvania PA is saying, no. We're going to appeal that. You're going to stand trial here in Pennsylvania. Yeah, and I was just talking to Jenny about that, Joyce, that he's unable to keep a secret because he has to be Mr. Braggadocious, because deep down he knows how stupid he is. So he has to go he's using it as a bragging right, as if him having that knowledge and stuff that he stole, even though he couldn't communicate it to you, he wants you to know that he has it so that it attaches value to himself. Do you see what I'm saying? So, and in the other one, we talked about part one of this tableau. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. Part one of this tableau, we said that there's subpoenas coming for a woman because it's right here. I'm wondering if during the timeline of this tableau, we'll see a subpoena for this right here. The secrets that are somewhere they're not supposed to be. But it's for a woman here. So there's that. And I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I was telling Jenny along with this, because this could also, we talked about him abusing drugs, but it's not just ketamine. It's more than ketamine. He's doing a bunch of them almost routinely, like on a schedule. That it's messing with his emotions and he's very unstable. If he's going to eventually end up in a rehabilitative state, because here's him again, a risky man, party man, secret addictions. There's your depression. And then there's resting and relaxation and rehabilitation. And then we talked about earlier in the corners about a nervous breakdown, mental breakdown with the corners here. So there's that. So and this line here, you can't see it because it's in the line of fate, but the lilies is followed by this. So it comes from a court and a judge, possibly a female judge, about this situation where the secrets are buried for a woman that's resting. Could be a female judge, or it could just be because the lilies is the king of spades, but the woman sits underneath here and it's right next to her. Right next to the lilies is also the queen of the ace of spades. So it's either a female judge or a judge that gives the order for a woman. If you're picking up what I'm putting down. So I know, Tarot Newbie, I know. Matt's rewatching the game from last night. He's downstairs. Peanut is rewatching the game. I know it was such a deserving win. Like, I mean, I was just talking to Peanut about that. I was like, you know what? If there's one thing I've learned from being a Dodgers fan is never, ever, ever rule them out. Because you want to talk about being like the comeback kings. Those guys, they were down 5-0, and came all the way back from 5-0 and beat them. And it's not the first time they've done that. I mean, they do that all the time. Like, they'll be down in a game and getting their asses whipped, and then right at the last minute they pull it off. It's like, you know, that says a lot about the how good the team is, their resilience, their dedication, their athleticism. You know, I have a lot of respect for the franchise and the players, because they're just, it's truly inspirational to see them pull something like that off. And I think they were saying on I think it was ESPN or whatever, that I think they set the new record for World Series where a team has come back from such a deficit in points. So, you know, I was like, holy shit, you know, it's just, I can't. We were at a game one time a few years ago, back when Jock Peterson was on the Dodgers, and, you know, it was like, I think it was the top of the ninth or whatever, and Matt was just like, fuck this, blah, blah, blah. He was pissed off when we were losing. And he's like, let's go so we can beat traffic. Because you know how getting out of Dodger Stadium is just, it's a nightmare, you know? So we start walking out. We get out into the parking lot. And as soon as we get out into the parking lot, we hear the whole stadium losing their freaking minds. And it was Jock Peterson. He had a walk-off. And I was like, Matt's like, God damn it. I was like, well, so we got into the car and we put it on the radio for LA, and we're listening to the game and everything that happened. And so Matt's like, I'm never leaving early again. I was like, I told you not to do that, you know. But so, I mean, it's happened to us so many times that, you know, but I like to see it. I like to see it, you know. Elon has 12 kids. Dear God. Just stop reproducing, man. Just stop reproducing. So, yeah, so I just want to pop on here real quick and show you guys that little jewel, because he knows where it's at and what's in there. And several foreign adversaries that have interest in this right here. And I will say this for all of you, if you believe in signs, okay, signs of the universe, the last time the Dodgers won the World Series, guess who lost the general election? Take a wild guess. There's your sign, people. There's your sign. There's your sign. We won the World Series in 2020. Donald Trump lost the general election in 2020. There's your sign. And he's from New York, and the Yankees, we beat him. We beat him. So there's your sign, people. So, hey, John. If I had to guess, it's because Democrats don't really have any power to do anything right now. You know, how are you going to have committees when you have clowns running the show, looking at Hunter Biden's laptop and let's find a crime to impeach Joe Biden for, even though he hasn't done anything, and also as more news stations starts coming out with more reporting, but if you haven't seen part 1, John, I would advise to go see part 1 of this, because we got into detail about that sort of stuff that I don't want to rehash here. But since I have you guys here, I had done the chart for that piece of shit. So I figured we can do that now. If you guys are cool with that. So any further questions on this one before I put it away? And if I see anything else, you guys know I got the chart. I can always pull it up. So, okay, you guys are cool? All right. So I'll repeat it again for the people in the back. I went live earlier today around 2 or 3 o'clock. I did part 1 of this. This is for the Musk wrap. Go check out part 1 and then come back and check out the tiny short portion of part 2. Let me see. Which ones are these? Okay, hold on. Let's see here. Okay, we're going to do the piece of shit. Ted Cruz. And when I'm done with this video, I'll go back and edit the title. So. Please hold while I shuffle my cards. me write them down real quick. Okay, let me put them on the little ones now. Okie dokie. Can you all give me a second so I can go refill my water bottle, and I'm gonna go do a couple things real quick, and I'll be right back. So please chat amongst yourselves. This one here, for those just tuning in, that we just did, is for Cruz. Okay? Okay. Bye-bye. I'll be right back. Hey, everybody, I'm back. I can hear all the kids yelling and screaming down there because they don't want to come up the hill. They do not want to come up the hill. Let me see. Hold on 1 second, please. Okie dokie. Ted, piece of shit Cruz. All the way at the tippity top of the grand tableau. Now, first 3 lines, there's news or feedback that he is in danger of staying where he's at. Okay? The corners. Scythe in the house of Rider, news of danger. Ship in the house of Coffin, transitions due to endings. Mountain in the house of Moon, and Moon right above it. Delays and obstacles in his career. Lilies in the house of Ring. Who wants to take a wild guess? Who wants to take a wild guess? Lilies is maturity. It's tranquility. Is wisdom. It's a card of senior citizens. And Ring is commitments, promises, contracts. Who wants to take a wild guess? That's quite possibly retirement. Okay, so news of danger, endings and transitions and transfers, obstacles and blockages in his career here, and a commitment to peace and relaxation. Okay, now the only thing that is mirroring in this tableau is the house. The house sits in its own house, meaning house is card number 4. It sits in the 4th position, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's in the house of house. Okay. This is not only his home and his property and his family, but this is also in regards to the state. The garden would be more like the country. This is where his home is, the state of Texas. Well, if you follow this line here, the state of Texas is really fucking pissed off at him and they're ready to see him go. News that he's in danger and staying in Texas. Time to go. This is an action card. This is an action card. So you're starting in the first position with an action card and an action house. Okay. This is what's being delivered or on the way out is all this. If this was here, that means he stays. But it's uprooting. This is showing uprooting. For lying, chronic liar. Here, you have the snake in the house of clouds, followed by the clouds here in the house of bear. So he lies and gaslights and covers up to maintain power. And then snake in the house, whip in the house of snake, a chronic liar. And it's reiterated here, chronic liar. And then it ends in an action card. So we start with an action card in an action house. We end in an action card in a mood house. Okay. This is saying bye-bye. That's not to say there's not going to be fuckery. We'll get to that in a second. This is him right now, October 31st. Okay. He's enjoying the fruits of his power. This sits in the house of Scythe. Power cut off. Okay. he's got a little bit of luck with allies. And then here, key in the house of book, he knows about secrets. And he knows about access to stuff that was stolen or missing. Okay. Here is the column for next month. Here is achieving something, arriving. Okay. Because it sits in the house of ship. And then anchor. So the arrival. There's his success, but it's in the house of whip. So there's conflict, perhaps with the map, the electoral map, the gerrymandered map. Because here, if you follow it this way, it's manipulated. So manipulated power in the maps. Okay, go back up here. So this says the power, his power gets cut off. Here it's saying he's in danger. Here it's saying that his power is in danger of being cut off. And here it shows that it's cut off. Everybody following? So achieving his success, perhaps by abusing the maps. Okay. His agreements and contracts and promises with law, but then it's lost here. This shows a loss. Now, in order to see if he would be successful, you would need to have the celestials really, really close. The only one he's got close is the stars, and it's beneath him in a not a good house, in the house of whip. So there's problems here. Okay. The moon is way over here, far, 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 far away. And the sun is way the hell out of the picture in the house of anchor. Okay. So the only way he stays, because here it's saying that he's in danger of staying at home and people are ready to send him packing for being a chronic liar. This is uprooting from the house. Chronic liar departs. The only way he stays is if they cheat and steal it. Mice in the house of letter up here. Okay. This would be his opponent, Colin Allred. Powerful, a job that's very powerful. This person is successful and can provide guidance. Okay. He's trustworthy. He sits in the house of birds. What he has to say and what he is offering via either a debate or with speaking with the community, he's trusted. He's trusted by families. He's trusted by the state. He is trusted by women. Okay. And guess what? Follow this line over here. A lot of women and families back this person. Why? Fish is in the house of storks. That is your card for pregnancies. Okay. Going back up here, the scythe is danger. It's ruptures, but it's also the card of surgeries. Okay. So we're looking at access to abortion rights. Women know that this has been closed off and taken away. They've lost it here, and they want representation in government. Okay. Tower in the house of mice. The government, with his help, and Donald Trump and the Republican Party, as well as the Texas party and the Supreme Court, took away their stuff. The government took away. This would be something, the moon in the house of heart, and heart is up here. Okay. Something that people are very emotional about and very, very, very passionate about. It sits next to the storks. This is your pregnancy again. This, as a pregnancy, this would be the womb. You're blocked off. And you know what else Texas decided to block off? Oh, you want to travel? You're not allowed. So it's almost like they did back in the day when the slaves ran away. This is what they're doing to women in the state of Texas. Okay. This tableau shows that he loses. If he wins, it's because of this. And this is in the month of November. And then mice in the house of letter. Ballots are stolen. Ballots are missing. Okay. This is the line for Colin Allred. We talked about how he's trusted, but here's the problem. The ballots are in the house of Fox. They're going to claim voter fraud, ballot fraud. There's going to be fuckery with the ballots. Here. These are the ballots in the mail. There's confusion and problems because of people in power. It's in the house of Bear, in the house of Bear. People in position, in power as well. If Ken Paxton is showing up, he's the AG. I would probably assume that it would be the Clouds, unless this is in regards to the governor, because the Clouds is the king of clubs. Okay. The only two other cards is the Queen of Clubs, which would be a woman, and then the Snake, and then the Whip, which is a younger male. Okay. And that is the Jack of Clubs. These, if you notice, these two are paired, Queen and Jack of Clubs. They're of the same suit. And this is sitting in the house of Snake, which iterates this. And this is sitting in the house of Clouds, which reiterates this. So you have 3 club cards here. You could be looking at 3 individuals that have to do with the law. So I'm not sure if there are state Supreme Court justices on this in the state of Texas that are on the ballot that could be replaced here, or if this is in regards to Ken Paxton and Greg Abbott. I can't differentiate that right now. I'm going to have to look further. People in the state as well are also pissed about this right here. The delivery of ballots to make it official, how he blocked it. The publicity stunt that he pulled during the last election, where he wouldn't certify the election. Because here's delivery, ballots, official, blocked and delayed. Another thing, you can probably see that again happening in Texas. There's litigation. There's going to be a lot of confusion and problems in litigation around the election in Texas. Okay. But this right here shows the opponent gets the powerful job. There might be problems with the ballot, but ultimately they get what they desire. They're successful. Okay. And then down this way, there's Texas, home, family, all red. Women, he backs women to make their own choices. Ted Cruz has the crossroads on his house, either meaning he's duplicitous, he's got choices and options. This is also an action card, or he's booted. Okay. If we look around the crossroads, which would be the elections, women that are committed because of what they know that they're being blocked from. They know exactly what him and his acolytes have done to women, and the women are committed. Women know what has been taken away from them via bills or whatever. Okay, they're going to choose, because this guy is clearly not on their side. And there is an entire population of women. Garden in the house of women, sorry. You fucked with the wrong people. Okay. Women also know about deaths. I mean, I think we talked about that. The women that there's a third one that was reported today. I saw this morning a Hispanic woman, Griselda or Giselle, I forget. I didn't catch the name very well, in Texas. I think she was 15 weeks pregnant, miscarried, a mother with a baby boy already and a husband, and she miscarried. And they left her there, and she suffered for 40 hours before she died. So now she left a widow to take care of a baby. And she died with the miscarriage. Women are aware of this. They know about death here. And they know that their choices, this sits in the house of crossroads, their choices have been taken away. Also, it nights here. Crossroads for man, his choice, his election, his popularity suffers. The country and women in the society in the state of Texas do not like her. He is not popular at all. At all. And then united up here, loss. Okay, and Coffin is sitting in the house of crossroads, loss at the election. Okay, and it's not just loss of the election. Somebody please, if I have any people from Texas, have they not allowed ballot measures in Texas to put abortion on the ballot? Because here it's saying that they're not even giving them the choice, that they're just not confining, that they're just they're not being given the choice to put abortion on the ballot and condemning people to die. Hi, Peggy. How you doing, Mom? See, lying here about ballots due to fraud, but you're not even given a choice. Coffin in the house of crossroads. They're not even letting a ballot initiative to put it on the Constitution. They're making people suffer. And he's totally behind it. They didn't give you that choice. Well, it shows up here. This line, lying, that's causing a lot of chaos and confusion, followed here by chaos and confusion. Here's the ballot in the house of Fox. They're manipulating the ballot. Coffin in the house of crossroads, a dead end, or you don't have a choice. And then here you are suffering. We're just going to make you suffer. Okay? And it intersects here and then here. So you not only have the power of women coming out against not only him, but the entire state is in jeopardy. Okay? Because of this right here. Taking stuff away from women and making them suffer. Lying here. Lying. And then offering women to take stuff away. So, okay, you're not allowed to have abortion. Guess what? You're not allowed to have contraceptives, and you're not allowed to have IVFs. The only way to not get pregnant is to just abstain from sex. And if you try to grow your family and you have a miscarriage, have fun dying. Good luck. You know, it's that's a whole nother rant. Okay. So we were talking here. So the women that are committed and they know what's been taken away, they know what they're blocking women from the obstacles that women are facing, the dangers that women are facing. Okay. Losses here. He's worried about the elections. Worry, anxiety about the elections. Ted Cruz, because of his popularity with women, suffers because pregnancy is blocked, or pregnancy is a huge problem. Is that making sense? And then down here, you can't see it, but it's the tree, the child, and the sun. Healthcare for children will be successful. But it all happens under new leadership. This guy needs to go. So action, 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 action. This right here, this is the news of this guy. You're in danger of staying at home. You're going to be going away because you're a chronic liar and go on permanent vacation to Cancun. That's what this line up here is saying. And the writer is in the house of tree. That's news and feedback about health. Okay. Follow the tree. The tree is in the house of key. So news and feedback about answers that need to be provided in regards to health or access to health. There's the access right there. Oh, look at that. It was taken away. We took away your access. Okay. Key in the house of book. They knew that this was going to cause problems, but we're going to block you from it anyways. Book in the house of mountain. Okay, the mountain is blockages, obstacles, obstructions, and enemies. It's in the house of moon, which would be his career, his fame, his reputation. And it's up here too. So your career, your reputation, your propaganda ain't working, homie. It ain't working. People ain't stupid. You can't tell people nothing is wrong when women are watching each other die. When there have been, I think Colin Allred said that there have been 27,000 births in the state of Texas since Roe was overturned due to rape and incest. You think women in that community don't know? Mothers in that community don't know? They know. That's why you can't tapar el sol con un dedo. You can't cover up the sun with your finger. The truth is too big. You can try to spin it any way you want. The truth is too big. Okay. Let me see here. His election does not look good at all. The mice is far away from him. If it was closer, if the mice was closer, they could try to cheat and steal and he would get it that way, because the closer the mice is, the better chance you have of getting something back, something that was lost or stolen. It's too far. So to get him to talk to the mice, you need to go man to anchor to mice to key. So him being able to achieve something, to reach his goal, to be, and that's the thing. He has been persistently corrupt. And over here we're seeing chronic liar. So persistently corrupt, a person who tries to achieve their goal, but then it's taken away here. And then key. So if this is his goal, there's a loss that is significant or a loss that is important with those two. And then when you read it this way, it's a man that has achieved his goal by using his power to put himself up on the big screen, just finagling stuff. But again, the power is cut. This is sitting in the house of scythe, and the scythe is right here. Okay. He's committed himself to taking a risk and just playing it. What's the saying? Shooting at the hip. And then significant loss here. There's the election. An entire society of women are going to make you suffer because pregnancies are becoming dangerous and there's blockages and obstacles. Okay. Let's see here. Colin Allred, if this is Colin Allred, he's sitting in the house of birds. Okay. The birds is communication, negotiation. So this person is a good communicator, a good negotiator. The birds, though, carries an energy of nervousness, where the mice is more anxiety. The birds is a little bit of nervousness. Okay. So this is a person that has been in Texas for a very, very, very long time. He's rooted there. But he has a message to deliver in regards to health. Okay. Very successful, has a plan, has a roadmap. He negotiates. He sits in the house of birds, and he's willing to offer new opportunities or have new offerings, or the early stages of negotiating and offering, reaching across the aisle and being bipartisan. The birds is it's a house of an older couple. traditionally an older man and an older woman, but it's also a couple. Here, you have another card that's double. Okay. So he's a person that is willing to negotiate and reach across the aisle to help. And women are committed to him because of what they know about him. Okay. It says that there is genuine happiness and joy behind this candidate. They know that he was, let's see, a celebrity. He's also perhaps been very involved. I'm not sure. I don't know everything about Colin Allred. Perhaps in education of some sort, or wanting to, hold on. Is Colin Allred in the House of Representatives in Congress right now? Because this would be the House of Representatives as well. Is he a current sitting member of Congress? Can anybody answer me that question? Because I'm not sure. He's a sitting member in the House of Representatives in Washington right now, because he's got the House really, really, really close. And because it sits in its own house, this could also be the House of Representatives and also the state of Texas. Okay, so he is in the House of Representatives. Got it. Got it. Okay. All right. There's a woman here who was very public. Oh, here's another mirror. I missed that one. Woman in the House of Garden, Garden in the House of Woman. Hold on, let me write that down. Woman, House, Garden, Garden, House, Woman. So we're not just talking about women in the community of Texas, but there's also a woman that has been very public in her support of him. So I don't know if that is the endorsement of Liz Cheney for Colin Allred telling people in Texas to boot this motherfucker out. But there's a woman, and you can tell because of how close they are here, and just how he is very close here to the house. Okay, so there's a woman very, 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 very close that has been in public to back him in the elections, and send this man over here packing. This is an action card. We talked about that. So hit the road, Jack. Okay. And this woman also has knowledge here of what this person did to block, delay, and obstruct. Now, this woman here has the crossroads right below her. And he is sitting in the House of Birds, so there could be two women. Maybe, possibly four, because she would be one woman. Okay? No, hold on. One woman here, followed by the crossroads, which is two. Okay? So maybe two or three women that support him, and they come from here, either his state or in the House, and these people represent his state. Is that, are you picking up what I'm putting down? There might be a man from that state as well that supports him, because this is the King of Hearts. Here's Colin Allred. There's a woman here that is popular, and there's a community of women as well. And then here, this one and this one says two women. And then the crossroads is the Queen of Diamonds, which is another woman. But they all come from, the origin is right here in the House. So either representatives in the House of Representatives that are from Texas that are backing him. Another woman in the state, perhaps, that is backing him. Another woman that may be very public that is backing him. So I don't know if this is Liz Cheney and two other women or three other women. I'm not sure. And a man too, if I'm looking at pips. but I don't know who that man would be. Okay. Jasmine Crockett. Has Jasmine Crockett endorsed Colin Allred? Does anybody know? Can anybody ask or answer that? Has Jasmine Crockett endorsed? She has. Okay, so we have Jasmine Crockett, Liz Cheney. Is there another? Because there's 1, 2, and then these right here. If I put them together, that would be 3 and 4. And then there's a man up here. I don't know who the man would be because I don't know of any man that has endorsed Colin Allred from the state. Oh, and they're investing in him as well. Well, he's got investment right here. He's got funding. He's got a lot of funding. So does Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz has a lot of funding, okay, by a lot of people that are looking to get even more wealthy this way. But he's got a lot of funding too. Thank you, Jose, for letting me know that. Let me see. Yeah, me too, Taro. I went walking for a little bit. I only saw like 4 or 5. No, hold on. There was like 6 at my neighbor's house and they came to ours. I saw maybe like a dozen. But nobody wants to come to our house because they got to climb up this big ass hill. Let me see here. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, it's this whole thing around his election, and not just his, but the entirety of the state. It looks, if I follow this line for November, it looks like he loses this way. Achieving success that is promised, and then there's the loss right there. Okay. The crossroads is sitting in his house. When I box it in, we talked about that women know what he's taken away from them. Popularity among women, and his growth is small, but he's still able to be successful and achieve what he has. But then here it says he loses. And then if I follow it this way, his election, his popularity suffers, and he's unable to gain popularity. It's blocked and delayed here if I follow it this way. So significant retirement, significant due to a loss. Elections, popularity suffers. Improvement is he can't improve here. That's this line. And then the mice intersects here with the column for November, saying that what he thought he was going to achieve with his success that was promised, there's a loss here. But that loss concerns me because this is sitting in the house of the letter, which is the ballots. That's saying that there's missing ballots or ballots that are stolen, destroyed. When you look at the ballots themselves, look at all this mess. There's going to be a fuckery in the state of Texas around the ballots. It's going to get legal here. Okay, so let's look at this. These are the ballots. Okay, forget the months. We're just looking at the ballots themselves, because here it's saying what he was promised, there's a loss because of thievery. Here. What is missing or stolen? The ballots. Look at the ballots in the mail. News and feedback of chronic lying, chronic problems. The offer or the happiness, the joy that you were getting from the ballots, well, guess what? That's a big shit show right now. Confusion and trouble in regards to a person in power. Secrets here about obstructions and problems. There's ballots here of a loss, and then the government or the law takes something away. This is going to be, looks like they're going to try to take this to the court or make it go to court one way or another, because this is confusion and problems and litigation around this. This is the mail and the ballots. And then when you follow it this way, news that the ballots that were official are blocked and delayed. So there's looking like there's going to be some serious fuckery, not just in his election, but the entirety of the state. Because here it's telling us that there's news of danger for him to remain where he's at home. And the state itself, the people in government and that state of Texas. Let me see. Female ballots here. There's probably going to be some disruptions, litigation, a lot of fighting, perhaps for absentee ballots, because if this is ballots, this is stuff that's abroad, overseas. So military members, oh, fuck you. Thank you for serving, but we're going to throw out your ballot sort of situation. Okay. And this is sitting in the House of Coffin. Okay. This is sitting in the House of Fox, manipulating the ballots, fraud, lying here about the ballots. Okay. Now, we talked about the people in the pip cards here around the tower. We have one pip here, which is the Queen of Clubs, one pip here, which is the Jack of Clubs, one pip here, which is the King of Clubs. These are all of the same suit. And we talked about the possibility of there being 3 people that are possibly, if I'm being literal, in the law. So I don't know if there's Supreme Court justices on the ballot, but there's also 3 other people. This would be like a Donald Trump because it sits in the House of Bear, the problematic person that is the executive. So this would be like your Donald Trump. Okay. So he might be causing some problems too in a separate litigation in Texas to try to steal taxes, on top of Texas already being fucked up because of these guys and the entire government in Texas basically killing women. Okay. I mean, I'm just not going to mince words at this time. It is what it is. You know, call a spade a spade. So we could be looking at Donald Trump. We discussed the possibility of a Greg Abbott and Ken Paxton, and I told you I couldn't tell because I can see 3 pips clearly, but these 2 are sitting in houses that are pips as well. Okay, so if Greg Abbott and I don't know if Greg Abbott is up for election this year. I don't know if Ken Paxton would be appointed by the governor, correct? Can somebody answer that for me, please? Yeah, I saw that. The Hispanic woman that was a mother. So she left a widowed husband with a baby and she died. because they wouldn't treat her when she had a miscarriage. Oh, Ken Paxton is voted in, Stephanie? Okay. So we have a male here, a female and a male here, a male and a female here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 people that I can see very clearly around ballots and the law that they're stirring shit or they're in deep shit themselves. So 2026 is the governor's reelection. So this does not apply to Ken Paxton. So this would be Donald Trump. Okay. And then there's a woman and a man here. And it's reiterated in the houses that they're sitting on. And they are all of the same suit. All these 3 problematic cards are of the same suit in clubs. And because it falls in the same line as this, okay, I'm wondering if there are judges on the Texas Supreme Court that got voted out because it says here that there's the court, there's a change. There's a change there. Not in the Supreme Court of the United States, of Texas. And this is the Queen of Hearts, okay? So these are all the pip cards that are around the law here, the law in the state of Texas. And see here, women in the state of Texas are being abused by a chronic liar. And here's the government, the state government that took their stuff away, that took away. But around the actual ballots in Texas, there's going to be fuckery. Primarily through Trump. There's an executive that is problematic. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. These here. In the houses that they're sitting on. There's how many? Okay, hold on. J Cat Lady, Rose, Blue, and anybody else that I have in the chat that is from Texas. Are there Supreme Court? Because this is the court. Okay, so we're going this way here and down this line here. That's where they intersect. If you can follow me. I'm looking at intersections. This line here, this line here. Okay, here would be the court and the law. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. But I'm not going to count this one because it says that this changes. Okay, so I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, and then the houses that they sit on would be 4. Are there Supreme Court justices in the state of Texas that are on the ballot? Because here's the ballot for the court. And the court has blocked people from putting stuff on the ballot and has taken away choices. Here, Coffin in the House of Crossroads, they took away choices. They are not giving you a choice. And then here, the Tower sits in the House of Mice. The government took something away from what? Follow the line, women. So I can see 1, 2, 3, and then the houses. If you do not count the houses, it's only 3 individuals, 2 men and a woman. They're all club suits. These people are problematic. 1 woman, 1 man, 1 man. 3 in court changes. Is that correct, or did I get that wrong? If anybody is from Texas. That's correct, Rose? Okay, so it shows that there's going to be a change at the court. 3 people. That gets changed. That change is successful. That change is achieved. So these 3, pack your bags. Bye-bye, motherfuckers. Bye-bye. Okay? Let's see here. But either way, the damage is already fucking done. Women have died. You have forced minors, girls as young as 9 years old, to give birth to their fucking rapist's baby. The damage is done. I'm sorry to get cursy, but it's just, I cannot imagine if I had a daughter and I lived somewhere where something like this happened to her, whether she died or lost her ability to ever reproduce, or was forced to give birth to a baby to watch it die in her arms, or be forced to give birth to her rapist's baby, I would go on a rampage. I would go straight up John Wick on a bunch of people. Like, the damage is done. You know, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. So, but that's good news, because it looks like the big court, there's a change there. I mean, it's unconscionable. It's completely fucking unconscionable what they're doing to women and girls. It's just, I just can't. I can't. It breaks my heart into a million pieces just thinking about it. You know, I don't have children. I never want to have children. But at the same time, if your religion dictates that in order to be a moral person, you have to ensure the suffering of other people and kill them, it's time to rethink your fucking religion. You know, if your guarantee into the paradise of the afterlife is to ensure the suffering of other women and young girls, to force them into a life that you wouldn't wish on anybody else, that's how you're going to get into heaven. Go fuck yourself. You know? But rant over. Let's see here. Exactly, Aspie. Exactly. And nowhere in the Bible does it say life begins at conception. It says life begins at first breath. And now they're trying to backtrack it. Oh, well, fetal personhood. Fetal fucking personhood? For what? So the kids can grow up and they can be used as target practice next time they go to school? I mean, I don't understand it, because there's no logic. It's based on cruelty. Absolutely based on cruelty. And to think that these sadistic fucks can sit there and watch women die, watch women lose the ability to ever conceive, watch women end up with long-term permanent damages to their health, and they get off on that, well, tough shit, it's not affecting me, and if I knock up my mistress, I'll just send her to Canada. You know, like, no. So yeah, good news on the court. Bye-bye, pieces of shit judges. Pack your bags, get going. Let's see what else. But again, there's going to be problems in Texas with the ballots. Yes, exactly, Tarot Newbie. Exactly, Tarot Newbie. You were there when I told you about our attorney general suing that hospital in Eureka, correct? I'm pretty sure you were there when I was talking about that a few weeks ago, where a woman, a 40-year-old woman, so she was already high risk, was pregnant with twins and miscarried. And the closest hospital was a Catholic hospital, and she went seeking an abortion. And the hospital told her, it's hospital policy. Here's a bucket of towels. Have fun dying. And the AG is suing the living shit out of that hospital because they knew she was going to die. And they broke 4 California laws. 4 California laws, because that shit is in our Constitution, by turning a woman away because of their religious bigotry. Well, until you can point in your little book of spells, your little grimoire that you all like to call the Bible, until you can point out exactly in the Bible where it says how to treat a woman that's going to die because she's having complications in her birth, do not use your religion to deny somebody fucking health care. I've had it with these freaks. I have had it with these freaks. So, yeah, Texas, the ballots, there's going to be problems around the ballot. A lot of litigation, a lot of fighting. 3 people in the courts that go away. But the ballot itself, they're going to claim fraud. They're going to claim, because this sits in the House of Fox, they're going to claim fraud. They're going to claim that it's fake here. Yes, for the presidential ballots too. The everything that's on the ballot is going to be a mess in Texas, Rose, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. They're going to try to destroy some and get rid of them, purge people, not count them. But at the end of the day, when everything is settled, this right here is going to be a painful loss. It's going to be a painful loss. It's almost like it's too big. It's too vast. It's too broad. This right here is vast and broad. Okay. This right here is a lot of something, an abundance. Okay. Let me see. I wouldn't care if the magic book explicitly stated they could and should abuse women. It's not my magic book. I refuse to be compelled to follow anyone's magic book but my own. Exactly, Patrick. Exactly. And if we're going back, what, 15,000, 20,000 years to a book of fantasy, you know, Numbers 31, where God told Moses, hey, go genocide all those people, including women and children, but save the little girls and take them back so you can rape them and spread your seed. And Moses was like, cool, God, you know, until you can point to me in that book how it says to save a woman who's dying from a miscarriage or a complication of pregnancy. Do not use your religion to say that prayer is answer enough. Because if that were the case, we wouldn't have women dying. And these are the data that's coming in is from 2-3 years ago, 2021 and 2022. So they're working on a 2-year lag time. Think of how many more have died in that time frame. I don't even want to know how many have died in Louisiana and Mississippi. Okay. But back to this, an abundance, and this is broad. And it falls here. So it's almost too big to rig. They're still going to mess with it. But at the end of the day, he gets what he desires. He is successful, desired success, passionate success here. Okay. And though Colin doesn't have all the celestials close to him, he has the stars right next to him, which is in a better position than Ted Cruz because he has the stars beneath him. It would have been better for this to be next to him or above. He still has success, but it's not ideal. Okay. Now, the lilies is sitting below his feet, which is not good. I forgot to mention that in Elon Musk's Grand Tableau Part 1, the lilies landed below his feet in the house of woman, and the woman was next to it in the house of lilies. He's acting very... His character and his integrity around women is very questionable. Same thing with this piece of shit. If this is your integrity and your virtue, it's below your feet and you're stepping on it. You're getting it dirty. Okay. What is he being dishonest about? The key, how he answers. Okay. What he says and what he doesn't say. What he knows. And he's a liar and a cheat. Okay, but it's almost like it's caught up to him because if you follow this up and then this way, chronic liar, chronic gaslighter. This right here is a person in a position of power that only has self-interest. Him in a position of power, there's your self-interest. This is about my opportunity and my chance to get what I want here. And then this line here, abandoning his home because he took off. You know, the snake is in the house of clouds. The clouds is right below it. This could be something, we were talking about chronic lying and stuff, but it's also something about problematic weather, bad weather. So when was it when Texas froze and he went to Cancun, you know, something like that, or perhaps a hurricane in Texas where he, you know, did nothing but block and block and block and block and do all sorts of stuff. People are fucking fed up with it, you know? So there's that, but this is a self-interested man only for his own power and privilege, but it gets cut off. This is in the house of Scythe, and Scythe is here. Okay. This line here says that he is successful in attaining, keeping his seat in the Senate. However, this says here that this is in danger. There's an attack on his power. The power card, okay, sits in the house of Scythe. So this is reiterating. So there's an attack and danger to his power that he's going to lose it. And he's trying to cling because of his own ambitions and his own, not ambitions, his own ego. In the elections for him, and then the sun in the house of anchor, that he'll be able to achieve his success. He's got a lot of financing too on down this line from energy producers, big executives in energy, possibly also executives in multimedia, or not multimedia, like internet services and stuff like that. I'm not sure who's backing him. So let me see here. He has a podcast. Well, that would be in his line of fate, which is the tree, the child, the sun, and the birds. But there's something going on, and the birds falls down here. There's something going on with that podcast that might be very problematic, because there's falsifications of documents here, and these documents are fraudulent, and there comes a painful ending from it. And then if you follow it this way to where the financing is, there's some shady shit on how he got financed for that by friends who gifted him stuff. So you're looking at the intersection of this line and this line. Is he being investigated on his podcast, and who's financing it? Can somebody tell me, please? Because this is an investigation into finances and resources here. Fraudulent resources and financing. Successful friends and allies that are gifting him stuff. The paperwork is not clear. It's muddled up somehow, but he's still getting what he wants, and they're getting what they want. But here, where it intersects, that paperwork is false and is fucked-a-roo, and it brings a lot of painful losses. Does anybody know? Anybody from Texas know if he's in trouble or is being looked into for who's financing his podcast? It could be how he's reporting it too. Because if this is a report, something is mucked up with the financing, and the financing is over here. Just follow it back. This doesn't show foreign money because there's foreign over there. There's the financing there. There's money here. So they're not anywhere near each other. There's something in the way that he's reporting his finances on that podcast that's going to cause him problems. I don't know if this would be FEC or FTC or one of those alphabet agencies. It's only being rumored that he's being looked at. If it is, it's tight-lipped. FCC, it's one of those. But there's something shady going on with his financing and the way that he's reporting it. This line intersecting this line. And it's around the podcast too. Forbes and American Statesman has articles about them looking into the money and the podcast. Heart Media. Ah, okay. Heart Media is where he's doing his podcast. He is getting paid, but he's showing it like he's volunteering. Fraudulent finances and resources. He's being gifted that money. He's covering it up. This is sitting in the house of bear, which is your finances. He's muddling it up and he's going to have financial problems there. And then this line here is saying that the records, how he's reporting it, they're false and he's lying about it. Using money, iHeartMedia. Okay. So Lynn, what's going on with iHeartMedia? Are they giving him money and he's not reporting it? He's not declaring it? Like what is going on? Because that's showing a problem. $600,000 that he has yet to explain. Said he was volunteering. Well, that's not going away, at least on the timeline of this Tableau. So this stays an issue until October of next year. And it looks like by then it's going to be resolved and it's not going to be pretty for him because there's punishment and fines. This is the card of punishment. Okay? Pain and suffering. It sits above the birds. This is in the house of this. So he's going to be punished for something that he's saying or speaking. This would be the radio broadcast. He's going to get in trouble for that within the timeline of this Tableau. Forbes reported on what 18 hours ago? But I mean, so with the overturning of the judges and the changes in the court, women will be successful in getting back what was taken from them. And why do I say that? This line right here. So we've talked about a lot of women that are committed because they know that they are being blocked and they were not given choices and the law took something away. They're successful here in getting what they desired. Getting what they desired here. This sits in the house of heart, getting what they desired in regards to pregnancy and their reproductive health. Okay. So once this court changes, and it's coming soon, it's not like it's going to happen 8, 9, 10, 12 months down the road. It's soon, within 2-3 months of the election. So if this is the election, this is right here and it intersects here. So I would say 2 to 3 months afterwards, when this court gets overturned, they get back what was taken away. And the reason I say that is because the mice is right here. The mice is right here next to them. So they're able to, the closer the mice is, the better chance you have of getting something that was taken away or lost or stolen, and it sits above the tree. So they're able to regain something in regards to access. This sits in the house of key, access to their health. Okay. So this is resolved within a few months. It goes through the court system. I'm not saying it gets resolved in a few months where women are going to get abortion access the day after the election, because they have to refile with the state, blah, 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 blah. And then this legislation here that was blocked before gets overturned, and it knights here. See? So this decision from the court gets cited, and then when the court changes, this gets overturned. And then when you follow it this way, you get what you desired. There might be some delays with other stuff in the courts, but it's the access comes back within a few months, it looks like. Because women here also knights to the key. They get access. The tree right underneath it in the house of key, they get access to health. Okay. Let's see here. So women on the ballots are suffering here because ballots, there's shit going on there where they're just trying to fuckery and fanatigy. So women on the ballots are suffering. They have been made to sacrifice. Women knights down here to the sun, they are successful. They get out for health. They bring news, delivery, and feedback in regards to health. They are not going away. They are mobilizing. Powerful women and mothers. And then they have access, and then their healthcare. So this is Texas. The key to Texas here. Here's the key, the answer that you want to know to Texas is the women in the state backing this person in the election for themselves and for the many sons and daughters, for children. Okay. And it's almost like the ring is knighting here to the garden. This would be like a community of women, but it's also like a coalition of women. The ring is in the house of Tower. Okay. And the garden is in the house of women, a coalition of women for changes in government. So I don't know if we're also looking at pro-choice women in Texas, perhaps uniting with parents, because here you have death and loss. So they could be partnering with, or not partnering with exactly, but they're on the same page as parents that have lost their children in school shootings because there's death. Okay, so Uvalde, and all this son of a bitch and the other fuckers can give you is thoughts and prayers. Till next time, then we'll give you some more thoughts and prayers because, they work so perfectly, instead of actually fucking doing something. So there's that. It's almost like a partnership or of like mind. Okay. And these women are also very organized here because this is a membership to a club with women to gain back something that was taken away, and also because of death and losses. El Paso, Walmart, Uvalde, Texas. I mean, I have lost track. Partnering with the families here. Follow it up, families, home property. So there's that. And there's a lot of them. And it's not just women. It's, married women. So women and their partners, women and their husbands, so there's a lot. Ted Cruz is knighting here to the fish, to the ring, and to the dog. So you're looking at a businessman here, but he's opportunistic on how he can gain more money. Okay. He's looking for contracts and commitments, and also contracts and commitments for friends as well. Executives, that sort of thing, in government. Okay. But it's self-serving. This right here is self-serving. Opportunistic man, a bully in power that's about to lose it. Opportunities for his buddies that are super wealthy, that give him access, and that's how he gains access. But he's not worried about the constituents. He's more about making money for himself and these people here. But the reason that he's sitting up here in the Grand Tableau is because the position when he's all the way at the top tells me that he's feeling pretty comfortable that he's going to eke this out. Even if it's by the skin of his teeth, he's pretty confident that he's going to eke it out with the help of the lobbyists and other people in positions of power, even if they have to commit fraud and, steal shit. But this says here they're ready to send him packing. So, and then again with the corners, that he's in danger, news that he's being cut off, that your time has come to an end. It's time for you to transition. You've been nothing but problematic in your career, and it's time to retire. The center of the tableau, which is the heart of the tableau, the main theme of the tableau, is a person here that is a strong ally, that is a protector, that is loyal and trustworthy to women, and offers new opportunities. But he's also a very joyful person, and he's also very educated. He knows what women are going through right now. Women in the community, he knows about the problems and the obstacles and the blockages that they're having, and he comes to offer aid. That's the heart of the tableau. So this is Colin Allred. He thinks he's got it in the bag because of his self-interested friends, his own self-interest, his buddies in, the state legislator that, they'll help me cheat, but this is the heart of it. This is the heart of it. The women in that state trust this person to have their back, not him. Not him. Allred has 2 boys. Well, there's 2 children here. Crossroads would be 2, followed by the child. 2 children. Does this jackass also have 2 children? Because there's 2 children here. But there's a couple of women that have backed this guy. He's looking pretty good. So 2 or 3 girls. Well, there's 2 kids down here. And so if this guy goes packing, Ted Cruz also has 2 children. Okay. If and when this guy goes packing, he's going to be, his line of fate is the tree, the child, the sun, and the birds. If he goes packing, because this right here says time to retire, this is the person that we're going to entrust. But here it's saying that it's stolen, or that he loses it. This is the column for November. This is sitting back on his house. When I look at the crossroads, he's feeling pretty good about it. But when you follow it this way, he's not popular with women in regards to something to do with pregnancy. And he gets blocked here. If I follow the line this way, this is the result of the election for him. It doesn't look good. He's reached his ceiling. People are tired of it. This is popularity, suffering and popularity with women. His ability to improve his popularity, can't do it because it's blocked. Okay. I don't see divorce. No. If anything, him and his wife seem to have an okay marriage, but it's all around self-interest and money. I'm wondering, is she a lobbyist of some sort? Because she looks like she has access to huge amounts of money. And as does he, but she does too. And it looks like the contracts, and I don't know if she's a lobbyist, but she's involved in financing somehow. It may be a hedge fund manager, or she's a manager of some sort. But that's what it's looking like for her. Anyways, back to his line of fate: tree, child, sun, and birds. If I've interpreted this correctly, when he goes packing, it looks like he's going to be having some difficulties getting really big on his podcast. So perhaps he'll be making guest appearances with Tucker Carlson, sort of thing. Because this is a person really that is only concerned about their own celebrity. Oh, she used to work at Goldman Sachs. Okay, because she's connected to hedge fund managers or people with a lot of resources. But she's connected here. So he's still going to be chasing clout. Perhaps he'll try to get in with energy people, like energy executives in his home state. Perhaps going into lobbying as well. But the problem with him, though, is his energy puts people off. The sun is energy. It's down here this is his line of fate. So we talked about the line of fate being that what brings success is health for children, or the lives of children. The success here around that. So we're again talking about women's rights, and the state not having to tell you when you can and can't have a family, and the discussion around that. But this is also in regards to if he's looking to grow his podcast, that's going to be very difficult, because there's something going on with this podcast where it suffers. And this is sitting in the house of cross, and the cross sits right above it. And we already talked about this whole line here, where he's either filing the results wrong, he's lying about the results, and then the paperwork itself is fraudulent to cover up where the financing came from. And there's something here, a heart in the house of star. So this could literally be a heart on the internet. So like you guys were saying, iHeartRadio, follow this line back. Fraudulent investors or fraudulent resources that are coming into him that are being gifted, but he's covering it up in the paperwork, and it causes all sorts of trouble, and it causes him problems. There's the potential for him to have some legal issues down the road, and in regards to the radio or his podcast. Okay. If this is him with legal stuff, it's not looking good. It is not looking good. There's some problems here and some confusion about paperwork or filings or results that are fraudulent. The financing is problematic. And this could quite literally be heart, because that's what this card is, the heart, in the house of stars. So this could be where he's hosting it, iHeartRadio. It could also be in regards to something that he did this. He fucked up with the paperwork and covered up and gaslit the money to get what he wanted, what he desired. Okay. There's losses here where he's kind of at a dead end, not given a choice. The law, there's a loss in the court here, or he's nervous about an upcoming trial. And then this is sitting in the house of heart, desiring, it's a desire for celebrity. Okay. And then problems moving forward and problems trying to change and improve. So it's kind of like he's just stuck here. This does not, if whatever legal litigation comes up this way for him outside of the Supreme Court in Texas that we've already talked about, there's a change there. Outside of the fuckery that's going to happen with the ballots in Texas, there's going to be fuckery there. Whatever they're trying to do does not work. Because if this is what they're desiring here, okay, a desire, and then the moon here is his career and fame. It's in the house of heart. So what he's desiring for his career and fame, tough shit. This is sitting in the house of moon. Your career and your fame, that's it. You're done. You're blocked. Do you see what I'm saying? So a transition that he is desiring for his career is blocked and delayed. Transition because of a loss. A desire for success. It sits in the house of stars. Career desire, or his desire for celebrity. And then blocked, obstructed, delayed in his career. Outside of the election, outside of the changes in the Supreme Court, if he gets caught up in some sort of a litigation, it does not work to his favor. Okay. I am not familiar with the state of Texas. Has any Texas newspapers come out against Ted Cruz? Because this would be like a newspaper here. And if this is indeed a newspaper, because this would be like a newspaper, propaganda magazines, they've criticized him heavily, as well as perhaps the media or the news stations here. There's news that he lied, and there's criticism. There's news that he's a chronic liar. Propaganda magazines, newspapers, that he is problematic and a chronic liar. So it's either in newspapers, magazines, or like the local news channel, because this is news here. These are like broadcast and newspapers, flyers, mailers, magazines, that sort of thing. So, yeah. And in the state of Texas, where there's larger populations, which I'm not familiar with Texas, I couldn't tell you anything about Texas, where it's not rural, but where it's very large. This is very, very large. Okay. He suffers greatly there. Insanely. I mean, like, that this couldn't hurt more. So any questions before I head out? Dallas Morning is against Cruz. Is that a newspaper or is that a magazine, or do you know, Lynn? I'm not familiar. It's a newspaper. Okay. he's not going to do, I mean, and that's just with everything too. Even if it's a red states, the cities tend to be more liberal, because this would be the city. His popularity suffers. There's no way that he can improve. And even like I said, this line here, this whole, if this is the election, this would be, you would follow it this way to see the outcome. So significant retirement because of a loss. The elections, his popularity suffers and he is unable to improve. This right here is similar to what we saw in Donald Trump's Tableau, but it was just a little bit different. I think it was Donald Trump's was this way, that he's hit a ceiling. His popularity to gain and improve, add to popularity suffered. Here it's kind of saying the same thing. His popularity suffers, improvement, can't do it. It's blocked. But like I said, it looks like he loses, but they're going to try to steal it. Because here it says that, he loses his access, not popular, hitting a ceiling, but they're also blocking a change here. And if you follow this line up, we've already talked about it, the fuckery around the polls or the ballots for the final count. And not just because of Donald Trump, but because of other, the election goes so badly that this is going to be a fucker. The election goes so badly for Republicans is what I'm saying, that this is going to be a total fuckery around the ballots. They're going to try to block progress and change. But at the end of the day, it gets sorted. If I interpreted this correctly by following this line, which would give me the result, it shows that they're going to try to block, delay progress and change, but he loses. He knights up here, and this is sitting in the House of Crossroads, loses. Okay, so I am hoping and praying that this is correct, because if there is one motherfucker that I would love to see just get ejected out of the Senate, it's this son of a bitch. Mitch McConnell, I mean, the guy's probably going to freaking die, but this is one person that I would just love to see. So I'm hoping that I'm not putting my own bias into this. We'll see. I have it in my notes. You guys know that if I fuck up, I always come back on and be like, oh yeah, I fucked this up. So there's that. Any other questions before I skedaddle? Before I go? Dallas Times Herald. Oh, that, okay. Cool beans. Who else should I do next? There's nothing in here about secession. And good luck with that. Actually, you know what? As a matter of fact, and I'm saying this to be absolutely sarcastic, because, as much as I despise these idiots, I still believe in the great experiment that is the United States of America and the Union. Okay. But let's just do an experiment really quick. Let's just let these stupid sons of bitches, all the red states, fuck the federal government, we'll do what we want. Okay, go ahead and secede. I guarantee you they'll be bankrupt within a month. Bankrupt. Absolutely. Because it's the red states that take so much money in federal aid. And the rest of us in blue states are the one that are paying taxes up the freaking wazoo to support the welfare queens, okay, in the red states. And I'm saying that to be sarcastic, because that's what they like to call people of color and immigrants that are on welfare. And I grew up on welfare, so yeah, go ahead, secede. Let's see how great you're doing when you have no doctors, no schools, no firefighters, no cops, no nothing. your economy goes through the fucking ground, you know. But hey, call Elon Musk, see if he'll buy your state, you know. Yeah, goodbye to all the military bases. Bye-bye. You know, just please go ahead. Go ahead. Do it. I triple dog dare you. I triple fucking double dog dare you. So no post office, yeah, for sure. Go live back in the caveman ages. You know, go ahead. Again, I'm being sarcastic, but I'm just saying, I'm one of those people that I'm just at the point where, okay, you want to do it? Fine. Go ahead. Go ahead. You know, kind of like when you have a little kid and they want to keep sticking the fork in the freaking light socket and you keep telling them not to do it and they keep going. And you're like, finally, you're just like, okay, do it. Fry your brains out, get shocked, you know, then you'll learn not to do it again. It's one of those things. It's one of those things. You want to learn the hard way? Go ahead. Go ahead. So, all right. I don't see any further questions. I'm going to head out. Oh, who do you guys want me to do next? Yeah, Carmen. You know, I saw an interview with a reporter with one of the stupid, dumbass Trump supporters, that she was saying that she doesn't think Russia's doing anything wrong, that they're totally right to take Ukraine back because it used to be Russia. And I'm like, you stupid fucking bitch. Yeah, Mexico. Why don't we give California and Texas and, you know, Arizona back to Mexico? Why not? It used to be their land. If we're going to be so generous, and watch heads explode. You know, like, I mean, these are the same idiots that think Puerto Ricans are illegal aliens. You know, please, you know, tell me what's in the Constitution without telling me you've never read the Constitution. You know, so I didn't see anything on what you guys want me to read on next. So I guess I don't even know who to do a grand tableau on tomorrow. I've got no idea. But I will try to come back on mañana and maybe we'll figure it out then. I'm doing a whole Southern goodbye. Russia wants Alaska back, for fuck's sake. Oh, God. Yeah, but you know what, Rose? Shady Vance does look like that fucking Chucky doll, dude. The thing with the Chucky doll, though, he's small, so you can just like snatch him like in a potato sack and throw him in a fire. That's it. That's how you get rid of him. I haven't done Alito, Jen. Should I? You know what? I'm going to call you tomorrow, Jenny. See if we should do Alito or Clarence Thomas or somebody else, because I have a feeling Clarence Thomas is in more deep shit than Alito. So, oh yeah, Rick Scott's election is coming up too. Yep, and there's that one guy has Texas going to Colin Allred, and he's got Florida going to the lady that's running against Rick Scott. So we'll see. Those two would be good ones to put before Thomas. So, okie dokie. Peace out, y'all. Have a good night. Happy Halloween. I'm going to go lay down with my kid and read a book. Hopefully I can see you all tomorrow. I'm not making any promises, but I'll try. Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out.